of the ear, and it can be divided into three different parts. The outer ear, this is the auricle or pinna. Then we have the external auditory meatus or canal, and of course there'd be hair and also cerumen in here, earwax to catch things coming in, dust and little bits. It's separated from the middle ear by the tympanic membrane, also called the eardrum. Okay, so sound waves are funneled in here, and they make a little pattern on the eardrum, beat a little pattern, and that then is transferred to the middle ear, where we have the auditory ossicles. We have the malleus, which is the hammer, the incus, which is the anvil, and the stapes, which means stirrup. The foot of the stirrup is oval-shaped and fits in the oval window of the inner ear. Now there is, in the outer ear, it's air. In the middle ear, there's air. It's open also through this pharyngeal tympanic membrane, also called, canal, auditory canal, or eustachian tube, to the nasopharynx, the upper part of your throat. It's normally collapsed, but when you swallow or chew, that can open up to equalize the pressure on both sides of the membrane, of the tympanic membrane here, so you don't have pain and damage your hearing. Now this is the inner ear. It has three major parts. It has the cochlea, which is for hearing. It has the vestibular complex, which is composed of the vestibule and the semicircular canals. Now when the sound waves come in, it causes the foot of this to move up and down and cause pressure waves, and that's going to be transferred to the fluids in the air, in the inner ear here. This is called the cochlea here. We have a scala vestibuli on top, where that attaches to this oval window, and pressure waves start there. They will eventually cause the basilar membrane to move up and down. The basilar membrane is underneath, it's the lower part of the organ of Corti, which is part of the cochlear duct. As that moves up and down, hair cells there in the organ of Corti are going to be deformed by the tectorial membrane, which is over the top of it. And that's going to set up the beginning of the sound waves. It's going to be converted to what we think of as sound. The extra pressure is released through the round window. I don't think it's shown here. Okay, oh, here it is. Round window that's at the end of the scala tympani, the tympanic duct. Okay. And waves that are, sound waves that are high in frequency, they cause movement of the basilar membrane near the oval window. Lower pitch sounds more towards the tip of the cochlea. Now the vestibule has two sacs. I should say all of this is carved out of bone. The middle and inner ear are carved out of bone, out of the part of the temporal bone called the petrous portion. Okay. In the vestibule here, we have two membranes. So lining the bony labyrinth, all through this we have a membranous labyrinth with fluids. We have two sacs here, the utricle and saccule. Inside we have receptors called the maculae. And basically you have these, what they call stereocilia, but they're really microvilli, embedded in gelatinous material that has calcium carbonate particles, basically chalk-like particles, called otoliths. And when you tilt your head, gravity pulls on the gelatinous material containing the otoliths, deforms the hair cells, and you can tell your head is tilted. So that's for what we call static equilibrium, or what we call linear acceleration. You're accelerating in one direction. These are the semicircular canals. Notice they're at 90 degrees to each other. There's a large area at the base called the ampullae, and the crista ampullaris is in there. Again, we have little hair cells that are really microvilli embedded in gelatinous material called the cupula. When you move your head in a circle, something like that, rotate it, then those hair cells are bent, and that tells you which way you're moving your head, because we have these semicircular canals at 90 degrees to each other. And all this information, it can be carried back along the vestibular-cochlear nerve. So we have a cochlear division and a vestibular division. The vestibule actually works together with this semicircular canals here. And if the information coming from these does not fit with what you're seeing, that can cause motion sickness.